Let's call the meeting to order. First order of business is always welcome to our guests.
Is there anyone
guys
have
are
a
welcome.
guest today, my son,
Okay.
in back there,
Ready?
in wearing his cowboy hat?
All right. That's an Australian cowboy hat.
Yeah.
And Robert, you got something you'd like to say this morning?
Yeah, I really like the signage they put up around Quadria there, showing that that's your drains and canals and stuff. Maybe they should do that everywhere and put up some gates so these people realize that they're trespassing, exactly.
That won't stop them, but they'll realize.
Well,
that.
maybe they'll realize the value of their property isn't quite what they think it is.
Yeah, well, thank you. All right, anything else? If not, second order of business is item 3, minutes from last meeting. Sent to you in your packet. Any additions or corrections? Nope. Trying to get out of here before 4:07. Having heard none, I'd entertain a motion to approve them. Art makes a motion, second.
Second.
George makes the seconds it, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, I'm gonna call you Mary, for the record. Okay, Mary, you.
Okay, we have the monthly investment report. Last month we did invest $1,001,000 to the T-bills.
Is that what that last meeting was?
Yes, yes.
I didn't know what SLG safe was, and I thought, oh my gosh, who's that? What is that?
That's the name of the vendor that we
Okay.
go through the
Okay,
process this T-bill. We will be investing another $5 million today. It's just a process of submitting the request and going down to the bank and having the wire transfer.
That's great.
Look at the difference in the interest.
2% plus. Wow.
Although
You
you
better
won't
take us
see
on.
it reflecting every month on this statement, the interest is not shown on a monthly basis as the CDs are. So you won't see that increase every month as you do with your certificate of deposit.
These are all variable rate?
Another,
To the bank?
No, they don't pay until they mature.
Into the maturity.
Right, no, yeah, I understand.
We can put what we estimate it to be. They're not gonna do it for us.
Let me tell you something, you might investigate, cash them early and taking a penalty and investing in that,
Oh, the CDs.
the CD.
Yeah, but some of them are coming due pretty quick.
Yes.
But
you
I'm
have
just saying,
$300
even if not, at that rate compared to what you can get over there, it might be, worth your while to do that. And just keep that stuff that you're gonna need during the year to, operate.
I guess we're in the financial part. We had another thing we wanted to talk to you about under the same item on the agenda.
real quick again, that SLG is a third party?
No, that's the U.S. government, state and local
That's
government.
not State and local government.
That's their program for state and local government.
SLG, say state and local government. So, okay.
That's the program we're in.
Okay, gotcha.
Is it, I don't know, Mary, is this the right time to do it, or do you have some more to do?
Yes, no, this is the right time.
Sure. I was looking with Mary the other day while we were doing this at our investment policy, and it requires board action to change it. We haven't talked to the investment, I think Art's on our committee about this. I think we talked to you about it once before, but these are the rates that the Tex Pool is paying, which is a program that Texas set up for local governments, and it's approved by the Texas Public Investment Act, so it's pre-approved, and it also gives us some flexibility to allow, there's no penalty for this one. In other words, it's a daily earned interest type deal, and you just invest. You can use it for a swiping fund or whatever you want. It's a little
You
more
withdraw it,
flexible.
there's no, it's like money market account?
Yeah, pretty much. It's a little more restrictive than that, but it's set up for doing it. And these rates they're lower than the T-bills right now, but not by much as you look at that. So we're looking at the day that you invest, what you get in there. So these are about 2.2. We just wanted to investigate it for flexibility because it is every time we do buy a one-year T-bill, it takes quite a bit of work. That's the way to put it, Mary. Whereas this one may take a little bit less, and we may have the ability to use this for some funds, such as what Johnny said, if we needed to have something to invest very quickly.
So y'all gonna investigate it and get back to us, see if it looks.
Well, it's a pre-approved. I've used it before with other districts, so it's already approved by the state controller, and it's in the public investment, set up specifically for this purpose. So I guess these are the rates, and we can do more on it if you want, and have a presentation made on it, but it's a real standard fund.
That sounds good. Now, will we have to change our investment?
Yes, we would have to include.
You would just have to add that it's, that you're adding
this
the
would
tax
be a-
pool to be one of the, I think right now all we have is secured CDs and the T-bills, and you'd add this as a third item.
Well, and you're not gonna, now that we have the ability to do the T-bills, the difference in the percentage on $5 million is lots of dollars, a lot of dollars.
And sometimes this pool's gonna be higher, and sometimes it's gonna be lower. It just gives us an option.
That is that you can in and out
Right.
without penalty instead of a CD.
Right, instead of the T-bill.
Whatever we need to do as far as bring it next month or January or whatever, we'll change the policy to include whatever, because that gives you more options, Mary Ann, how to deal with it, don't you?
Yeah, I agree.
And I'd
Because
like
you
to.
can-
You're not asking today for that, are you?
I mean, you could do it today. I don't think
We could give them the authority to.
add it to the policy
The
today.
flexibility of,
It's not on the agenda, is it?
It's under the financial, I don't know that you have to have a specific one, it's a financial, it's general enough under the investment.
You know what to change, what you're asking for them to change, what the specific verbiage is?
Yeah, I've got
Yeah,
that.
there's the government code for the investment, and there are set in language, so we could just take some of that language and put it into our investment policy to include the tax pool and what is required, what's the process in order to invest in the tax pool. We can include that in our investment policy.
What about the risk in that, I mean, it's backed by the state of Texas?
Yeah,
That's right, I mean.
the risk is minimal,
Minimal.
and it's the one that they've approved that it's secure and that they have an investment company that manages it. I
It's
guess
not
they-
FDICA approved, I mean, insured, it's just,
Well, it meets the Texas Public Investment Act, so it's very conservative, and that's why it's only paying.
the security is always a, consideration when you do that sort of stuff.
So they wouldn't allow it to be anything
You
that's
just
not.
look at these rates and look at what you're getting, do the math, and wow.
Yeah, compared to what we had, so.
Because there's so much money, I mean, if you're talking $100,000, big deal, but 5 million, 7 million, a lot of money every month.
So the tax pool's always been available to us as a pre-approved, we just haven't made use of it, but I don't know.
Why not? I was wondering.
I'm not sure, because most
I
of the other.
remember the discussion, but I don't remember why. We didn't ever do it.
I remember discussing this one time too, or years ago.
Well, initially, like all the big construction jobs I did in the lower valley, so all the districts were in that, all the irrigation council people, because we put the money in for the construction job into it, and then pull out of it as we built it.
Right.
So you're making,
is accessible
and some of that was bond money or state money, so we were actually making interest off of
That was probably the concern that those guys were doing it, we were a little nervous.
it wasn't. Yeah, they don't want anything that was going on in the lower valley, they didn't want it.
We were a little nervous about what was happening.
Is this like a money market type of
Yeah, it's actually an investment fund that's run by the state,
And no penalty for withdrawal, you go in and out as you
Right.
wish.
just like the money market? And
Do you
then-
have to do the total amount, or do you fraction it?
no, you can do to the dollar, I said.
Huh?
To the dollar, whatever you want on that day.
That's one.
So it's,
And the rates are great, too.
yeah, they were not very good until recently. These rates, I think one of the reasons we didn't do it at the time is these rates weren't much different than CDs for a long
At that
time.
time.
So what about the, for instance, the general fund, would that be a qualifying factor? The $8 million, would that be money that we.
Well, yeah, we've already, the,
5 million's gonna go into a CD, I mean, a T-bill here.
But I'm looking at the $8 million, that's where we'd rather draw it from?
Yes, for this next investment with the T-bills will be from the general fund.
and then this, we probably wouldn't make it easy until after the CDs came.
Correct.
Because the interest rate on the general fund is really, really low, obviously.
Right.
But that's, I think the finance committee's already, I thought it was 8 million that they authorized, how much did you guys
A
authorize?
total of 8 million is what the finance
Invest
committee
in
had recommended.
T-bills.
So we still have a lot of cash. in the
Yes, we
general
do.
fund,
And
and
that's
that's what
right.
you're talking about investing.
Correct.
But I would also look into taking
And
a penalty
some-
on those. It may even get you a better rate, they may say, well, let's adjust, right? It won't be that high.
Now, I'd like to see this to go up above 1%, because I think the money market's up above 1%.
Some of them are going up, this is a secure, the markets we're in have to be secured, but, I think we get it all in here pretty quickly into above 2% is what we need to do.
Well, there's another tool in the toolbox, and I don't mind either today or even come back in a month and have a resolution pretty much written out like re-up to you guys to give you another
Why
tool.
don't we give them permission to do it and we can adjust the policy later? Is that a bad way to do it?
It's up to you guys. and
Well,
we
it
can
gives
do-
them just a tool, they don't have to even do this, right?
We'd have to execute it, you know.
Yeah, you would just add it to the authorized, I've got the language here, so
That doesn't
you,
mean we're giving it, we're
I
telling
think it's
them
worth
to
the
do this.
research to
so
look.
you already have a list in
If
your,
you feel like it's covered under the agenda, we'll do it right now. If that's all it requires is to
Yeah.
include it in the authorized depository.
You know, I don't want authorized to do it, I just want authorized to
now,
research it.
what would, yeah, we'll go ahead and bring it back to you,
next
I'll bring
month.
the exact language that we get from the state controller's office from the fund.
Next month.
And we'll put it in the policy and have it underlined.
The only thing is, it's probably gonna be January before we do that.
Right.
And we're gonna miss a couple of months of
Right.
interest.
Well, in the meantime, we have T-bills.
Okay.
Come on.
Except for once we lock into those, we're not. We're locked in.
Yeah, well, you don't wanna lock up the money you're gonna need, so.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that, just some of the capital improvements money, and we're only some of them we're putting them in monthly and some in annuals, but you're not, the penalty on those is very real, it's everything.
Yeah,
Not what you invested, but all the interest, if you don't wait until it matures, you'll,
yeah, on the T-bill,
yeah.
right.
Whereas this one, you get it whenever you take it out, so that's what Mary was getting.
And that's a good vehicle. The only thing about changing the policy, I kinda think we'd ought to see what the changes are to vote on it.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll modify the existing policy to add the language that allows the next pool, so we just get
And I
it.
see that so that we can
Next meeting.
actually lay our eyes on it when we approve it.
Sure. We'll get that in the packet and everything, that's not a hard thing to do.
All right, go ahead, Mary.
Next is the balance sheet report. We did complete our 2017 audit with the auditors. The adjustments that were going to be made to that receivable, Mr. ID 11600, has been completed on the QuickBooks side. It just has to go ahead and enter it on the Sage side, since we had some started balances when we first came with the new software. I have to make that adjustment towards the starting.
Okay.
But
That's
you
part of
will
the-
see
And that's part of the journal entry
Reduction
we
on that.
want you to make,
Right.
adjusting entries.
adjusting measures.
That's right, yeah.
Yep.
We're about
I
that.
didn't even, no, I
Till
didn't ask,
next meeting.
didn't ask today. I remember it from last month.
Yeah, I know. Somebody knows.
And the next is the $500 report.
Any questions or comments, Mary, on the $500?
Yeah, on the EPCWID transportation, it's gonna be paid, what's all these charges?
Mostly it's our diesel for the wells that we're in.
Okay, so they all bill them at the same time?
Well, some of these
Some-
invoices, there were from prior month.
Yes.
We do have a 45-day grace period with FEMA, and so all these invoices just happen to come at once. And also because of our end of our year fiscal, we wanted those invoices in for October to be paid, so they came in all at once.
I thought they were going to be.
And they are,
Yes.
Yeah, this is from prior.
yes, they've given us notice that, in fact, they're done.
Well, that's what I thought, and I thought, saw those, and I thought.
Yeah,
must
that's
have
what
changed
I was
plan.
thinking, see that,
No, these were the final.
the final, okay.
So who are you using now? You
We're-
got Faven's also here.
Yeah, we're utilizing Fabens, and then Ruben's been talking to a couple of other companies here locally.
So Teague was done as of 17th, I guess.
Mhm.
You might still see DEWA in regards to purchases for oil, because they're still in the business of selling oil, so there might be invoices.
Who's the next competitor that would be besides Tigo?
Isn't there a brewer or something like that?
Well, we've got, who we used to use, what is their,
Western Refinery?
Western Refinery, and then we used to use, what is the name of that company, Mary? That-
CNR?
CNR.
You know?
Yeah, Western Refinery is supposed to have good prices, they run about a month or two, so
Yes.
keep an eye on them. Because the guy called me about it for farm diesel, and he said they're gonna be very competitive.
Yeah, and they're looking at the delivery also, being able to deliver to you. So that's what they were trying to
We
do.
go out for bids on it, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
As long as we do that, we're okay.
Usual players.
And brewer's another one.
Yes,
And even the oils bid on?
yes.
Well, on the audit, is it typically a lump sum there?
Yes,
Like, oh, for past year or the year coming?
this is for 2017,
Oh, so past.
pass,
What's it gonna be next year? Same?
Wait, they work here for our inventory count. They will be coming in the end of November, the first week of December. It will take them a couple of weeks, and then we should be seeing the financial audit in January, or the latest February.
Great.
Pete, in here, up to the top there, you have that stick assembly boom, is that what Pete was saying, where they broke the boom? Nobody, no?
Yeah, it should be. What's the company that's doing there?
Wagner,
Page one.
page 1, 2, 3, 4th line.
Sounds like it to me.
Right.
Was that,
Pete'll be here in a
I'll
minute.
ask Pete.
That's about $20,000.
I vaguely remember something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
That's it.
yes,
That's one of the arms on the
yes.
excavator, right?
Right.
And we're doing all the work here ourselves. The
And that
installation.
was, so what was that? Oh,
That
that
was
was,
for the.
That's the
arm.
price
that's
of
just
the
for
arm.
the arm, and
Yes.
then y'all are gonna do the attaching and all that.
Yes, in fact,
Routing of the
the
hydraulic.
bush should be able to finish out this week on it.
Okay.
And they said we got we use it for auto body and paint, but it is.
Yeah, and those, again, we go out on bids, and we usually get a little better.
Now, after this for Bobby on page 2, about a third of the way down, if you know, he always wanted to know what was going on with the Kenworth. What happened on the Kenworth there? Jury, tough.
Peterbilt usually.
Oh, was it Peterbilt?
That's what he.
Yeah, our Peterbilt, transportation, this is
I
one
get the
of,
truck, right?
They get the truck, right, okay.
this is one of our dump trucks.
Oh, okay, and just electronic controlled module.
Mhm.
So they're like cars now, they're all electronic
Yes.
modules and all that
All,
stuff?
all them trucks are in that already.
And then right above it, 4 lines, just curious. Streamline auto collision, replace cab roof.
Yes, we had a,
Serious help.
Somebody didn't notice the height clearance or what?
we had an employee with a dump truck that dumped some dirt on a canal bank, and he failed to lower the dump.
Oh.
And he hit a tree, and the limb fell on top of the cab and caused some damage.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
And we've dealt with the employee.
okay.
You're done there.
Wow.
So that's that guy thing looking for work for real problems. Okay. He can't get it wrong. That's right. That's more like it.
Any other questions?
What are stop signs?
We purchased, I ordered some stop signs because in our drain banks, like, I'll give you an example, up the valley, off of Upper Valley Road, the entrance to Heritage Farms, you're familiar with that one, right? We were having a bunch of quads being ridden up and down our canal banks, and, you know, it's almost impossible to stop to patrol those. And so we put up stop signs into that entrance because the people there were concerned that they were gonna hit someone. So I said, well, the only thing we can do, I said, I'm not gonna put up any gates because that hinders our maintenance and operation. So I said, I'll put up stop signs, and then, well, will that stop it? I said, well, what do you do when you see a stop sign? And so I stopped, and I said, well, I can only do what we can. So that, I ordered stop signs, and we have put some up in different locations where we have issues like that going on.
How many?
We ordered, I think it was 25 that I ordered. It's a large.
Build something at your house. You put all that stuff up, take people take it down. Use it. Take it on. Put it in the garage or build something with it.
With urbanization, where we have a lot of issues, and of course the public wants us to gate, but you know, that hinders our maintenance and operation. And
So the berms that you used to have there, they don't do any good anyway.
no, because they'll go around them, or they'll use them to jump over, and maybe just
The
cause.
dog walkers complain too.
Yeah.
Okay, you got the legal and consulting fees budget, any questions on that? Gotta go by that one in a hurry. Don't look at it very well.
A lot of zeros.
On the wrong side of the desk,
There's no sum total.
on the left side of the desk. Anything else, Mary? You escaped again, Mary. Thanks, great report. I'm gonna take a little time here. Chew handed me a card addressed to the board of directors, and I just realized it was to the board of directors, and I'd like to read it. It's from the Singh family, and of course, everybody knows that one of our distinguished members who passed away with Indar, but they sent us a card thanking us, and it's addressed esteemed EPCWID #1 Board of Directors, Mr. Stubbs, Mr. Ivy, Mr. Turan, and Mr. Ceballos. We are grateful and thank you so very much for your kindness and generosity during the difficult time. The floral display was beautiful with heartfelt thanks. Mrs. Eloise Singh and Mrs. Grace Singh, Burgardo, and family. That's Indor's wife and daughter. So anyway, great guy. We'll all miss him. Okay, Rose?
Mr. Stubbs, we needed action on Board D. Yes, one more item. We successfully closed out our FSA HRA Western Bank account. That account was used for reimbursing health insurance claims that we used to do 3 or 4 years ago. And this account has no longer been in use for that. So I'd like to go ahead and close it and transfer funds, which is only about $1,100 into our general fund.
You need a motion to do that?
Yes.
Okay, do I hear a motion to do that?
So moved.
Our next motion, Larry seconds, all in favor say aye, all opposed same sign. Okay, close the account. Now you're on, Rose.
Good morning.
Good morning.
One item for me, first one. We got the 2018 tax assessment and more charges. I have the tax roll over here, if you wish to examine it.
Always have the backup, always the backup.
Always have the backup, yes, sir. So what we're looking here is, excuse me, the accounting service charge, the exempt water, allotment and non-allotment, excuse me, tax assessment, water delivery charges, allotment and non-allotment, and the total assessment and charges, we're looking at $4,975,625.20 for 2018. I certify that the tax roll is true and correct to the best of my knowledge and belief. So I need for the board, in agreement, to certify the tax roll and on your signature.
Okay, I'll raise my same concerns. Of course, I don't like using the word allotment, since that's not mentioned anywhere in the water code. But I think the top part, total assessments and charges, will work. And I think the bottom part is right. But you're not approving the tax rolls as such. You're not going through and examining every single account. I think it should read the 2018 assessments and charges of the El Paso County Water Improvement District, not tax roll. See, if you read at the top and the bottom, what I just said is consistent with the top and the bottom. What's there right now, calling it tax roll, is not consistent.
That paragraph below the numbers is what you're talking about, Jim?
Yeah.
Is this the same language you've been using?
That paragraph, I think,
Yes.
below the.
It has been.
See, at the top, it lists tax assessments and charges. Okay, and then at the bottom, what Rose is certifying is tax assessments and charges.
Oh, I don't disagree. Do you have a problem with that, Rose?
I'm sorry.
Do you have, is there an issue with changing the word roll?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, we'll change it.
Just change the tax assessments and charges on that.
Just like you guys know, for 10 years, it's been that way. We're changing it now.
Well, for 10 years, I've raised the same questions.
That's probably true.
Yeah, true, yeah. Or the exact opposite. We're not sure. But we will change that from roll to,
Yes.
okay.
The main
See,
thing
the
is-
difference is we're benefit basis on the chapter 55 and chapter 61.
And the reason she brings that out each time is she does expect you guys to go through it.
Oh, you did, you guys haven't.
Sharon, during the break, can you make those changes and before the board leaves, get them to sign?
I'll call them.
You will?
Yes, and we'll get those
Okay,
numbers.
we can do
And
the
I'll get
motion
your signature.
resolution.
Do the motion, but I'll sign it,
Assessment and charge.
and that's the line, it's right below.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, do I hear a motion to approve the
Tax assessments
assessments?
and or
I'm
charges.
afraid to even say that. Whatever Spears said.
2018.
Do I hear a motion to do what Spears said? Okay. Larry make the motion.
Second?
Second, Art seconds, all in favor say aye, all opposed same sign. Now you can go mail them and start
Yes, sir.
collecting money.
Yes, thank you so much.
I'm telling you, you can cash my check.
You're gonna make us a copy to sign, right?
Yeah, just as a secondary on that, this will be the first year that we reorganized the invoices.
Yes, sir.
And so it was a major effort, part of a lot of the professional service charges. So we had looked at using a third-party tax service to do that. And we spent a lot of time evaluating that, we chose not to. We went ahead and modified our software. So there's a lot of benefits to that. It's one that we moved it into a supported environment. It was in an obsolete development system, so now we're back up to date as a current development system. And road, we sort of went back to the way it used to be.
To the
You
way it
guys will
used to
see we don't have it here for you, but I guess we can give them an example before you leave if you want to look.
Yes,
It's,
sir. I can do that.
it's more compact in that if you own a lot of properties, and some of the farms do, that it prints all your assessments out and all your water as two different lists, so you can look at your total amount of water charges and your total amount of assessments on the land. And I think we cut the pages down by
Almost half,
in half, yeah.
almost half.
So it's a little
So
easier.
it's not just the paper, but the time on the copy machine, on the folding machine, on the stack also.
Well, it's much easier to check as an individual too.
Yeah.
Stuff for the farm charges
So
is great.
me representing the farmers trying to get it as compacted as like how I'd want to see it.
Yeah, it's a lot easier.
And then Kathy helped out a lot too, and Rose, and we had to get her, of course, to make sure that it met the tax law and all that, so we are happy with it. Right?
Yes, very happy.
So it's, yeah, and I think it looks, to me, it looks better. It just looks
I
better.
see.
Easier to
I-
immediately understand what it's trying to convey. Having said that, since we've been in the same format for 10 years, and it's going out to 4,000 people or something, there will be some people that aren't happy with it, I'm sure. You know, because it'll be something new, you know.
I understand there's one or two.
So, just to let you know, you might get some phone calls on the new invoices that we're saving money with them, and it's, the purpose is to make it more readable, not less readable.
Exactly.
And Mr. Stubbs did make a request yesterday. He said if we can do it, a one pager, he said he'd be even happier.
That was where I started.
We won't go there. You did a great job, and it's a good
Well,
new
thank you
form.
very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Judy, you're on.
Okay.
Thanks, Rose, great job as always.
Thank you. And
In spite of
it's not-
messing up for 10 years in a row.
And, you know, I have great staff. You know, it's not just administration, it's maintenance, it's operation, our general manager, our managers.
Yeah.
You know, it's a team effort here.
Yeah, I know, well, but you're the team leader in this department, you do a great job, and we appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Good job.
Okay, I've got Mr. Parada here from the town of Clint on item A. I was approached by him and Susie on the possibility of us disposing of a pickup truck, one of our trucks. We've ordered 7 trucks for operations for Robert, for the ditch riders. So what we do is we'll take the best of his fleet and move it into maintenance, which usually has the older trucks, and then we'll get the maintenance trucks and identify what we're going to send off for auction and send them off to auction. So in the spirit of cooperation, and since we live and work together here in the town of Clint, we work very closely with them on emergency situations. They had approached me about the possibilities, and I told them that I would have to bring it to the board on the possibilities of us disposing of a pickup truck, and so they can utilize it for their maintenance operations. And I don't know if Mr. Parada wants to say anything else on it.
Well, we're kind of tight on funds right now, so that's how come we came and approached Mr. Reyes. And we really appreciate it for maintenance.
Yeah, the law that allows them to do that's local government code for salvage, disposal and salvage to another local government that's within the same county. So it's limited to other local governments that are in the same county that you're located in. So they qualify. It does require salvage, so there has to be some salvage value put on the truck, and then they do, but it doesn't require to go to auction or to a bid. It's not a bid, you're able to set a salvage price.
But now, does it use the word donating?
No, it doesn't use the word donate, it
See,
requires,
I would say disposing maybe instead of donating.
does it say donate?
Yeah, that's a.
No, it says dispose.
disposable.
Yeah, they can't donate it. They can only,
Well,
actually,
you do say donation,
You
but
do say
but,
donation.
And Chewy's deal there.
Oh,
from
and
from
my-
the tax purposes, or
Oh, that's a mistake.
it's already been
No.
depreciated out, I'm assuming?
We don't-
yeah, no, that's on
The
that.
point is though, you can't donate things.
No, I understand that, but from the tax purpose, it's already used as a useful
Yes,
purpose.
depending on which vehicle we're looking at, most of the time it's already been.
And that was a typo, we forgot to change that.
Yeah, I just make it disposing, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that was my only question, okay, and you just answered it, but I want to make sure legal agrees with that there's no problem. When you do something like this with public property, Henry, as you know, you better be sure it's legal. And if you guys say it's okay, well, that's, I know Al said, but I'd like to.
Well, we haven't discussed it with them.
Our engineer over there.
I would move that subject to legal and appropriate action.
Yeah, they're using the disposal.
We can dispose as.
Yeah, I just changed donation to disposing.
Absolutely, Joe, I agree.
Okay.
Okay, so everybody's online?
Everybody,
All right, Miguel makes the motion.
I second
Larry seconds, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
But you can't drive it, Henry. Thank you, Andrew, for coming in.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
First thing he probably needs to do is go to the repair shop, right?
You know, I would eliminate that last sentence. Under the state statute, we could make such a donation. You don't need that. It doesn't help you any. I just eliminate it.
Under the state statute, period.
Well, that's
We're-
not, this is not, Jim, what you're reading is not the.
Yeah, that was
Not the language.
So like this.
that's
We're
just what
doing it
is
under
reported.
6B.
That's not the language of the resolution, that's just what
Six
they
A.
put in the
Yeah.
Oh, I agree.
informant. That's
6A is
informant.
what they're doing, they have to set a salvage value for it, so you just leave that up to what they think its salvage value is.
And what does that value do? Do you take that off the books at that value, or how, what?
Yeah, we get it, it just generates revenue back for us.
Okay, but they're gonna have to pay for it, is that it?
You have to pay something for it,
Okay, yeah.
whatever we determine the salvage
Oh,
value.
okay. Well, he said he was short of funds, so it's gotta be a short front.
The last one I did was $75 is what I got for the, they didn't charge me
You
to
still
store
have
that.
that much money?
He's reaching his pocket there.
I think it's for the scrap steel is what it is. I mean, these, how many miles are these things? Or-
Y'all take care of what it takes. If we can help the city of town, that's great. They help
Has
us
this
out.
happened before?
Good job.
No, this is the first time that we've been approached, and
For a good cause.
for a good cause, I think, yeah.
Absolutely.
We always try to go to their corner to support them during issues like the flooding issues, and whenever there's an emergency, they know they can call us, and we're there to help them.
What about other communities, the small communities in here?
We haven't been approached by anybody else, but
Well, They have to be local governments
Right.
involved, so.
County.
County could, city,
No, the county, you said in the county.
yeah, in the county,
Right.
yes. It has to be a governmental entity in the county. We can't do it to any private, no private. it's illegal.
Good.
All right.
So you're gonna
Thank you
change,
all.
are you gonna change then this memo from where
Yes,
you talk about donation?
yes.
That donation's gone.
Okay.
I'll get
We're
with
doing it, we have to do it. under
Thank you.
the-
Nice meeting you, Mr. Scott.
Good to see you, Henry. Take it easy.
And item B, that's the only other issue I had is, item B, I'm happy to report to you all that we were awarded another, grant by the USBR, the United States Bureau of Reclamation, before Jim corrects me. This is a small grant that we applied for. We're concrete lining the Isla. We had it on our 6-year plan to concrete line from Horizon to Tres Hermanos Farms there, the entrance. That's a section that I've been concerned with because we have a Walgreens, we have a Peter Piper Pizza, we have Government Employees Credit Union there next to our canal, and they're fixing to build a couple more businesses there, and I was concerned about overtopping or a canal break and us causing some damage there. So I'm happy to report to you all that we were awarded the $75,000 grant. It'll pay for the materials. And it's the 4th grant that we
The
get.
cement will prevent a gopher like that we had
Yes.
up there. The big gopher that made that John Cook was wondering how big that gopher could be to make that big a hole.
Yeah, that was a bit, that was
So that'll prevent that from
the
happening.
nutrient, it was a
And
nutrient.
then on the south side of our Isla Canal there, the city of Socorro has 15 acres there, and they have plans on making a city complex there with their new offices and so on. So this will really help and prevent those ditch breaks, yes.
And it's since the fund's it's a small project, so it's not an engineered project, it's totally handled by maintenance, so we don't try to make the money go as far as possible, we keep engineering out of it.
Right.
So it's up to Pete to build it, and the reclamation, they'll work together on it.
And then we had it's not on the agenda, but just as information, I'd just like to tell you all that we did go out on bid for the concrete, and the lowest bid came in from Mini Concrete at $110 a yard. And so we have met with them, and we feel, well, Pete feels comfortable, and so does our purchasing agent, that they can meet our obligations on delivering concrete and the shotcrete concrete that
We tested
we
it all,
know.
I mean, to make sure.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and I'd like to make a comment. We don't have a problem with competition, which is great, new players to start, but they need to meet our standards and our expectations as far as delivery on time. They're not as big as the other two players in town, but if they want to play the game, they need to meet our expectations.
Yes, and I was concerned with that, so I had Pete go out there and visit with them and physically view their plant and their operation.
Great.
And he reported back to me that he feels comfortable that they can meet our.
Who is that Benny?
I don't
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I don't know who the owner is, but
Where is the plant?
it's up here off of Horizon.
That's good, I mean, competition's great.
Yeah.
If they perform and if they don't, then
Yes.
you don't use
Then we
them.
can, right,
Give
we can
them
move
a
on.
shot.
And I was very upfront with them the day we opened the bids, and I told them, you know, we've got certain requirements and certain materials that our engineers have put together, and if we start having problems, I don't mind telling you, I'll switch right away. because-
Absolutely. And they were competitive, so it's not like the second bidder was not that much higher.
Mhm.
So,
That's all I have, unless you all have any questions. The other thing is that we don't have a lot of items, or we don't have any items for the December meeting, so I was going to ask that we not have the December meeting like we did last year, just go on and meet again in January.
Fine with me. All right with everybody?
Well, just a second, I'm still trying to find that demand letter from Control for broadband.
Well, we ain't got there
Yeah.
yet, so you're ahead of yourself. We'll
Yeah,
get
we're
there
talking
shortly.
about that before, so.
I don't know whether the letter's here or not.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
get there shortly. All right, district engineer.
Okay, so I didn't get the snow report out to you guys, I got it completed now. You know, you can't really rely on any of the snow numbers at this time of year, it's really February's before we get a glimpse of reliability. So the numbers look good, but, you know, 100% of zero is still zero. There's not
Time of
much.
year doesn't mean anything.
I'll show you the maps, and the reservoirs, you know, 103, so that's the number that's way different than it has been, so it's not, we'll just have to see what happens this year, but at least there is some antecedent moistures coming into the system.
This last storm they just went through there the last couple of days, did we get anything?
Yeah, look at, so you're gonna see about a 2 to 4 inch water equivalent across the basin right now, so it's above normal for right now, but, you know, at the end of the year, we have 240 inches at some of these locations, so 1% of the, so I mean, we're down here on the curve, on setting it up, and the gauge up there, for whatever reason, is not reporting, which is weird.
Because it's covered with snow.
It's been very reliable, so we've been using the ski lodge gauges, and I don't know why the government's gauges stopped this year, because historically, you can see there's the data going all the way back many years, but we didn't get any. This is where the normal curve is, and so,
What government agency?
NRCS. But I don't know what those analyze what. The problem with using the Wolf Creek ski lodge gauges, is, especially at the base, is they make snow. And, you know, their business is to promote that they have a lot of snow, so when they put their numbers in, they put what they made too. So you can look at the ones up at the peak, they don't make snow up there, and so those give you a little more reference, but the ones down at the bottom, you gotta be careful about that.
Maybe they had so much snow, they're so buried they can't find them.
Yeah, that's it, I'm setting it up, let me go to the graph. So this is the last 30 days of moisture, so you guys know, and if you're in the hay business, you know this too well. This picture right here, it's sort of like a disaster, but for us, for the people that want it to rain, it's good. So that helps us in that we're seeing the antecedent moisture conditions in the basin, you know, was extremely dry, so this is a big help. We cannot, doesn't matter how much snow we have up there, we can't get it down here if it's going through a really dry river. So we've got to get both the antecedent moisture up and the snow back up. So at least we're moving in one direction on that. And then here's the satellite radar generated snow, and that's all in the you know, the 1 to 2, the 2 to 4 issue. You know, everybody remembers this little peninsula, which is the lodge, the ski lift is right up here. This is where about, well, this whole area in Colorado is about 56% of our water, of our runoff. And this area here is about half or more than half of that 56%. So it's a really small area that gives
Snow
us,
runoff.
yeah, where that gives us some water. And that's what's different from the people in the other basins, just on the other side of the mountain, where you can see they have huge areas. So we have a real small section of the Rocky Mountains that produce the water. So we spent a lot of time looking at this area right here.
So it's what, 56% of the total? comes
Yeah,
from
on
that little-
average, from this whole area in Colorado, this is the Rio
The snow
Grande
water.
Basin.
But that contributes 56%
Yeah.
to the volume we get.
Right.
But that's the snow water, that doesn't mean
Right.
the rain in the.
Yeah, not the rain, that's the runoff, the snowpack runoff. Yeah, so most of it comes out of Colorado, and most of what comes out of Colorado comes out of that section that's in this peninsula right here.
And if it doesn't,
Jamba.
if it doesn't happen very fast, really fast, then it will get there.
Yeah,
The
but-
snow and melt.
Yeah. This Tucumcari area, they got 18 inches of snow on Sunday or Monday, I don't recall which day.
Here, see?
No, Tucumcari.
Tucumcari.
Oh, it took me,
Uh-huh.
that's over on the
Well,
other
right,
side.
that's all that's showing up.
That's
It's very-
Sunday del Cristo.
That's on the simmer.
That's close to
Tucumcari's way over on
It's
the.
pretty
that's
far
right
east.
here.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
something
it's
that-
pretty far east.
It's over about.
you know, I'm not sure it's not showing up as,